Hey guys, today we are joined by Ravi Varma all the way from India. We're going to be talking all things dance and movement. So those of you that don't know Ravi, he is a dancer and he is based in India, Chennai. And he's a dancer and founder of BFAB Dance Group and United Grooves. He travels the world and he teaches dance. He's been to the UK, Australia, I think Dubai as well. And he has also represented India in numerous dance shows with his crew BFAB, and has also taken part in the World of Dance finals in 2017. So today we're gonna just talk about movement and dance and see what inspires him. If you've seen his dancing and his musicality, you will be amazed. And throughout this kind of episode, we're just going to talk more about what inspires his movement and how he trains as well. So over to you, Ravi. How are you today? And is there anything that I missed out?
No, all good, all good. You're perfect. Yes. So I'm doing great today. Just like every day, every other day.
Yeah.
So being with family, since lockdowns, I feel much better now. As although it's the scene is pretty bad outside, like because of this COVID and situation, but we need to survive. We need to know how to get through this situation. So learning to survive, and yeah, we're good.
Nice. And how are your family doing? How have you guys found lockdown period?
Yeah, magical. So, I usually don't get time to spend with my family because I travel a lot before the lockdown. But this lockdown made us more closer. So staying with the family makes you more stronger. So, yeah, honestly, I felt it as well.
That's amazing. Yeah. COVID has definitely allowed us to do things that we may have not thought of. Like it's kind of trapped us in some ways, but at the same time, it allowed us to see a whole new world.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with your dancing and where you started. Like, what inspired you to start dancing? How old were you? And where did the journey begin?
To be, maybe I can give you different stages of my life, like with the dance and everything. But basically, I was born in a family where people don't dance. I mean, my dad is a police. Even my mom is a police. So you know how it is, right? So there was no dance background. But then one of my grandfathers, he used to act in drama back in time. So maybe I think I've got his gene. So that's why I'm more inclined towards the art and stuff. But then I'm not really I really didn't focus on it. Like I didn't want to become a dancer, and being in India, growing as a kid, so like 70 to 80% of the kids will want to become cricketers. So I was one of them. So when I was growing up, so in the schools, I wanted to be a cricketer because I was so much in love with cricket. So playing cricket, so I sleep with my bat when I was little. But then you talk about dance. Ever since I've known as a kid, like even the schools, like when I was in UKG, like first standard and second standard, whenever there is a school day function, so there'll be dance events and everything. So I was always a part of it. Like it was not that I wanted to be a part of it, but then somehow I end up there. So I think it was there with me since I was a kid. And then even I remember one of the incidents in my schools, like high school. So usually in the school day event, only the girls, like I was in a co-ed, it was a co-ed. So it was always the same, like only the girls have the dance part and everything, and the boys don't dance. They only take the drama part. So it was always the same. But I was wondering why. So why not the boys can dance, So, but it was not allowed in my schools. But then, so I was in 8th standard, I remember. So I went to my principal. My principal is someone who is very, he's like a terror to all of us. Like we are so scared of her.
Yeah.
During school days. But then this thing kind of disturbing me. Like, why not the boys do dance? Like, at least one or two dance we need to do, right?
And
So I went and protested. Like, when I was in 8th standard, so I went to my principal. I was like, no, we wanted to dance. Like, why not boys? Why not boys? And then she was
how
laughing at
old
me
were
like,
you here?
you're so little, and then you're talking to me like that. But then I was in 8th standard, so I was 13 years old.
13. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah,
13.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and then because of I wanted to do it, and I spoke to her so bold, she that that was the very first time in my school history they let the boys dance in the school day function. Like, this was in high school, right?
Yeah.
So I think the dance was always a part of me. But to talk about taking dance so seriously, so I moved for a higher education to a city side. It's called Chennai. So I was from a township. It's called Tirupatur, and then I moved to Chennai for
Mhm.
my college. And then I was introduced to one of my seniors. He's called Ramakrishnan.
Mhm.
So he saw me dancing in one of the functions in the college, and then he was like, "Oh, you are special. I think you need to be more serious about it. Like, you need to know more things about it." So he introduced me to one of my Johnny Fernando. So when he saw me, he was like, this guy is, I think he has something. So
Mhm.
he took me in his team, and then he trained me. I was like super interested. Whenever I see him dancing, I was like, oh, I want to learn more. I want to learn more, learn more. And after a point of time, he has to leave, and I was on my own, and
Mhm.
I didn't know what I'm going to do. So I was studying engineering, but then I was not really inclined towards my studies and stuff, but I wanted to dance more,
Mm.
right? So that's when I realized, okay, let me dance, let me continue dance, let me push myself more towards the dance and stuff. Uh, but there was this situation in my life, so like it was more like an accident. Like, either I do dance or nothing. So it was a situation like that. So I had nothing to do.
Mm.
I didn't finish my studies. I was doing only dance. So the only choice that was left with me is dance. So I had to do it,
Yeah.
and if I have to do it, then I need to learn more, because what I know already is not even close to uh, anything. So I had to update myself. So I learned more. I studied more about dancing, and then I learned different styles through YouTube. And then whenever I get an opportunity, I learned directly from the people who have been doing this for a long time, like hip hop, locking, and the choreography and stuff and everything. So that's what inspired me to start taking it more seriously and take it as a profession. So somehow I end up here. I'm teaching dancing, and then having a team, competing in the competitions, and all those. So like, dance fills uh, all the time in my life except the sleep time.
Yeah. That
Like,
sounds like.
you see me, I go even I went to buy a mouse today.
Mhm.
Mouse. So outside the shop, there were like 5 minutes that I had before I get the mouse. So I was dancing. I was practicing in the middle of the road. So people were seeing me so strange, but I don't care. So I just wanted to practice. Like, whenever I get time, whenever I feel like dancing, I dance. So that's why I'm saying, so I dance all the time except the time I sleep.
Nice.
So
So
it's
from that kind of from your journey, there's lots of aspects you've mentioned, and I think one particular thing that stood out for me just from what you said is the idea of that choice of whether going down that dancing route or doing
mm-hmm.
the conventional route, which I like as an Asian person, you think go to get an office
Yeah,
job, doctor, medicine, all of these kind of
yeah,
options, but you chose the kind of
yeah,
creative route. How hard
yeah,
was that? Because I can only imagine being in that position where you're going against what everyone thinks is normal. You're going to become a dancer, and even in
yeah,
the UK, like London, you can see how competitive it is. Is it
yeah.
as competitive in India? Is it more competitive? And just personally, how did you feel just making that choice? Was it like you said, was it you just thought it's dance or nothing, or did you have to work your way up to that point? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk about the hard situations when you take dance as a career, so if we talk about the competition that I have from the other dancers that I have around, I think that's what makes me the person who I am. Like it shows me the level, like the level I am in. So when I started, like let me put it this way: when I started dancing, when I saw the people dancing so good, and I was at a certain level, so I was like, oh, there is so much to learn, so much to learn. So I always look up to things which is more bigger than me,
Mm.
and then I try to reach that position. So in a way that I don't find this as a hard situation in my dance career, because this helps me to grow. So I don't see those struggles as struggles, because I liked it, because without this thing I won't grow, right?
Mm.
And if we talk about the hard feelings or the difficult situation that I faced uh, from the parenting point of view, or from the family and the friends and everyone, right? When after college, even though I was not able to finish the college completely, I had a job. Like I was ready with a job. I had a good amount of salary. But then even when I started doing it, like I was doing a office job for 2-3 months, but then I was not feeling so complete, so I had to quit it because I couldn't dance. Right? That's a different side. Coming back to this family pressure and everything, honestly, I was quite independent. My family was not dependent on me. That's one good thing that happened to me, honestly. But at the same time, just like every other parents, my parents are so worried about my life
Yeah.
ahead, because they, as a parent, like I'm a parent now, so I know how the parents things now. Like we always wanted the good things in the world for the kids,
Yeah.
right? We always care about them. So my mom and dad was the same. Although my dad was so happy about me dancing, he always supported. My mom was so worried, so she's the one who always uh, tells me, you know what, like, what are you going to do? Like, you're dancing, so how long you can dance? So what are you going to do with the dance? Like after some
Mhm.
time, now you enjoy it, but after a point of time, how are you going to make your life out of it? But then I had no answer when she asked me a question like that. But there was a feeling. There was, I don't know how can I explain. There was a feeling that told me, like, you know what, continue dancing. I think you need to do dance, like more. But later in the process, I understood it doesn't matter where you are. It's all about the consistency that you show, and
Mhm.
it's all about the hard work that you put in, and it's all about the choices you make at the right time. You
Mm.
know. So fortunately, I was good with my choices, and I also know that I have to dance. I
Mhm.
knew, let me continue dance. I don't know if I'm gonna have a great life with the dance, but then something in me saying that, you know what, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Like it pushed me to dance more, and then I told my mom, you know what, I wanted to dance. I wanted to continue dancing. Whether you don't like it, but I wanted to dance. Because I think I can be really good at it. And for a long period of time, because she was always working. Time she saw that I'm doing good in dancing, though I'm not earning much,
Mhm.
but then she saw me that I'm consistent in it. And then she
Mm.
also knows that this is what I love the most. She understood. And then
Mhm.
she later came to me one day and she said, I think you should continue dancing. And I don't know how good you're gonna have this in the future. I mean, how good is your life in the future? I'm not sure what's gonna happen in the future, she said. But as long as I live, I'm gonna go support you for whatever you're doing, and you keep doing what you love. And that was one day that gave me super, like, made me feel like a superhuman, you know.
Yeah.
uh, that acceptance from the family. I think every one of us have to have that feeling. That gives us more confident. I showed more consistency later, and then I understood is me. Like I cannot find someone else as my competition, my competitor, but I am my own biggest competitor. So if I'm good today, I should be better tomorrow,
Yes, yeah.
right? So I don't have to beat someone else, but I have to beat myself every single time. So if you ask me whether I'm doing it, yes, I'm trying. Sometimes I do, sometimes I lag, but then I also make sure that I keep trying and do that. I come out of it. Like, you know, I beat my own self every single time I give something, when
Nice.
I produce something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I face as a difficulty right now.
So it's almost like you value growth, so you want to push yourself to be the best version of yourself in that sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, from what you've said, you've basically talked a lot about
Mhm.
how one, you value growth and you've learned on different styles. So, what styles influence you the most? And is there a particular style in that's really influenced who you are and your movement?
Yeah. So I think again, I'm going to go keep it pretty long. I'm going to go give you what inspired me at different stages of my dance life.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I was lucky enough to opportunities to teach in colleges when I was teaching dance. So, but to teach them, I need to update myself because the world knows better. So I went for YouTube and Google that, like, what are the dance styles that I can learn? And then I found so many different styles of dance and the history of it. For example, like locking, house dance, popping, so many different dance styles. And then I read the, and I saw some people dancing those dance styles. And I was like, this is so good. Like, I think it was so natural for me to ask more questions to myself. Like when I saw them moving so good, I was like asking so many questions. Like what makes them to move that way, and what made them to think that way? Like what type of music that they are dancing? So what kind of feel they were in when they were creating those type of moves, right? So there were so many questions going inside my mind, and then that made me to find like YouTube, and then I found the basics and foundations of it, and then I started training myself in locking and a little bit of popping, and then I was
Nice.
training myself in a little bit of hip hop. I'm not saying I was a pro when I learned it. I know the process, right?
Yeah.
So when I look back at it right now, the way I was dancing, I laugh at all times. I don't really want to see it again. You know, it
Mm.
gives me a little feeling that an awkward feeling, right?
Yeah.
But then that's the process. Like that's how you grow. Maybe
Mm.
after a few years, the way I dance right now, I'm gonna go laugh at it because I would be more matured. I would have learned more, right? So that's the process. So that's how I started learning dance. And then there was this particular point of time where I came to where I end up in a video dance videos from urban dance camp.
Mm.
You know, there is a dance camp
Yeah.
happens in Germany, I guess, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It's called urban dance camp. And then I saw choreographers dancing, which is quite so different. Like something is so unique about it. You know, I know there is a lot of dance styles are there, but then they put everything together to create a routine like that. But then how can someone create a routine like that? Like I was like blown away.
100%.
Something so good. Like I was like, okay, I think this is what I have to do. This is what I have to learn. I was digging more about them, about their history. So what type of dance styles that they train, and then what made them to think that way, and how come they are doing the storytelling and stuff, you know? So initially all my inspiration came from YouTube and Google and stuff. I started exploring myself more towards it, and then I'm fortunate enough to meet some good friends in my country, like Ryan Mata and Abhishek Das and Sandeep. There were like a lot of good friends of mine, Sambo, and then being with them, I came to know about more things about the music, that like how important is music, like how really you can connect yourself with the music. You know, the moment they feel the music, I was like, how are they doing it? Like, what made them feel that way? Like, you know, my good friend Ryan, whenever he listens to some good music back in time, like when I'm talking about like 3-4 years back, 4 5 years back
Yeah.
when I met him. So he hears some good music. He was like, he makes these faces and weird expressions. I was like, even I'm listening to the same music. Like, why am I not doing those things? Like, why am I not feeling the way that he's feeling? So those things, again, I asked so many questions. So, and then I came to know, like, what inspires you the most is not the person, but the music. As a dancer, you are visually audible. You are, you're not dancing really. You're not dancing. You are showing the music visually, right? So the serious inspiration is from the music. Um, it's not from another person. So maybe initially you might get inspired from a person to start your career, but then after a point of time that you need to realize, you will be in a position to realize music inspires you the most, right?
Mm.
So there were so many people in my life who inspired me to find my movement slowly. But at the current situation, I think music inspires me the most. Like, I'm not stuck in any box. Like, I'm not into any particular style, but then I'm open to everything now. I learn
Nice.
everything. So whatever the music tells me to do, I do it. So I just wanted to be a visual representation of a music. That's why
Lovely.
my
Yeah,
musicalities are more stronger.
that's nice. And I think that's a good point you've raised. It's almost like there's a difference between just dancing and doing certain moves and then actually feeling the music and really
Yeah,
like becoming, or it's almost like you're becoming the music. It's like you're embodying it in your body. Does that make sense? Um,
exactly. Yeah.
and with musicality, like how do you, let's say, like obviously you've been in this for years now, you've been dancing for many years. Let's say a beginner or someone kind of midway in their career, how do you develop that? Is this something that you're just born with? Is this something you start to feel when you get better at? Or is this something that you can teach? Is there like logical steps?
Yeah. I personally believe in those special talent that I'm talking about
Hmm.
earlier. Special talent is something that you're born with,
Yeah.
but it is not just the one thing. That it's not the end. There is
Mm.
also someone who works so hard. It's not just about the special talent, and you can't just have the special talent and keeps the same. Like, even the special talent needs hard work,
Yeah.
right? So it's possible for everybody. It's possible for everybody. It's not that you have to born with it. It's possible for everybody.
Hmm.
But you need to learn. You need to go through a process. It's a long process, and I don't know. I haven't seen the end of it. I don't know. My lifetime will be enough to see the end of it, because the learning will keep on going. You can never learn everything. So not everybody knows everything as well,
Yeah.
right? There is so much to learn. So
Hmm.
much. Uh, so I think everyone gets an opportunity to learn it. So if you really have time for it,
Hmm.
find ways, seek for the ways that you can improve your musicality. And as I said, music, the dancing is nothing but the visual representation of the music. Then instead of listening to it, try and see it. Try and see it.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, like, how does that? Where is your imagination? What about those imaginations when you were 2 years old, when you were 3 years old? What happened to those imaginations now?
Hmm.
Bring that back. When you listen to the music now, you should have that visual representation. Like, I know this is a sound of a thunder. I know this is a sound of a rain. So what is the characteristics of the rain? Rain has a dropping down. Like, it makes sense. So what about a bomb? Like, or what about a bomb which is like two different sounds, right? There is
Yeah.
a
Nice.
bomb which explodes like, and
Yeah.
also explodes.
Yeah.
So you need to know how to visually represent that particular sound that you listen to,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
If you hear a violin music, you hear more of a wavy stuff,
Hmm.
and then if you listen to a drum, it's more like more a powerful hit or something, like boom, pa, boom. So different techniques are there. Like, you can improve it. Like, there is popping and there is waving. Like, you learn those stuffs, and then you try to represent the same in the music,
Mm. Yeah.
right? Like, you listen to some Carnatic music, like they have this vibrato, something like more of a more of a wave, like it goes like that.
Yeah.
And some singers, like when you listen, like uh, the, it's a very easy wave. But when you go back to the technical singing and stuff, you have a very typical like strong waves going there, right? So it's like it's you need to see through it. You need to see through it. Like there is a wave. If you know music editing, then you can see those waves of the music, and then when you stretch it closer to closer, you can see a wave, a proper wave or a line and everything. You can see it. I don't know if you can understand this. Maybe you need to go through. I mean, not you, the people who are watching this,
Hmm.
because we had the class about it earlier, so you must be knowing it. But the people who are
Yeah.
watching it, so when you go through a process like that, then you'll understand everything. Like whatever that you see around, that inspires you. What kind of shape that you see in the music? What size it is?
Mm.
What speed is it? Or how many syllables are there in that pronunciation? Like you can go through so many different things, man, right? So
Yeah.
musicality, like you can see it.
It's
So
almost like,
the only thing that I wanted to tell you is, instead of listening, see the music. It helps you more.
yeah, visualize it. Uh, so in terms of like your musicality and your dance, is how has traveling and teaching abroad, has that changed your learning style? Has it changed your movement, or just your kind of your own inner kind of personal mindset? Has it changed that?
Ah, I think your question is like how much my thought process and learning have changed after I traveled and taught abroad,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a person who wants to travel. When I started, I was seeing those people who were traveling across the world and teaching. So those people inspired me in the beginning, in the early times of my dancing. So even I wanted to do the same, because I wanted to dance and I wanted to travel the world and I wanted to teach. So I did everything possible for that to happen. So what I do was I keep learning, and I keep myself so active on the social media and stuff. I keep posting. I make people see my thing, and I was like constantly putting effort to make it reach out to the world, like whatever the stuff that I create. So I had that learning consistently. Doesn't matter where I am, whether I'm in the same place or I travel. The learning process was always consistent, and my dream was to travel and teach. So that happened slowly, and then I had an opportunity to travel outside India as well, and then I taught, and then I that yeah seriously gave me more inspiration to work harder, like more harder,
Mm,
like because I always know that there is something more to learn. It's
mm,
not that I'm the best. There is someone else who's better. I don't know who he is, or maybe that's me in the future, right? But I know I have to get there. I can't get comfortable where I am at right now. If I'm comfortable, then I will never grow,
mm,
right? So no matter whether I stay or travel, or like, I should always be inspired to learn and improve myself.
mm.
So I
And
need to be the better version of myself in the future.
and what's your favorite place and you've traveled to so far?
My favorite place. Oh, my favorite place. So many places. Like you mean the place where I traveled so far?
No, yeah. So from the places you've traveled so far,
The dance
what's your
dance career.
favorite place?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dance wise, and even
I loved Finland.
Finland. Nice. Yeah.
I
Well,
loved Finland. Finland, so beautiful.
just the scenery, like the scenes, or was it also the people, the
Yeah, yeah. I
atmosphere?
I loved. Yeah, everything was so good about it. I
Mm.
loved. I'm a fan of a good clean environment.
Yeah.
So that inspired me in, like, the moment I landed over there, the smell that I had
Mm.
and the environment that I had, that made me awestruck already. And the weather there, maybe I was in the time where the weather is good,
Hmm.
because I haven't seen, I've heard it's 6 months of night and 6 months of sun.
Mm-hmm.
So day, 6 month day and 6 months night, right?
Yeah.
So and also it's so cold. I was there in the summer. It was so beautiful, and the people were so beautiful and so good. I loved everything about it. Like the place
Mm.
is so good to live at that particular
Yeah.
moment of time when I went to Finland, right?
Nice.
And then I loved London also.
Mm-hmm.
London is so green, so
Yeah.
much green.
Some
Like
places.
wherever you go, it's green. It's green, and you don't get to see so many tall buildings, but
Mm.
then small buildings and greeneries and so clean, and the people are so good. Like maybe the people that I met so far in when I was in London, like I was there for 3 4 days.
Yeah.
The people I met, everyone were so good, and things were so organized.
Mm.
Compared to be in India, I think it was so good over there.
Nice.
I'm not letting down my country, but then
Yeah, no, I
I'm just
understand.
letting you
Yeah.
know. But I'm always a fan of those things. I wanted those things to be in India as well.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I wanted to come back to my place. But at the same time, I love those things which is there in London and Finland. I wanted the same thing to happen in India as well, very soon.
Nice. Yeah.
No dust. I mean, pollution, and people are not really cared about throwing garbage everywhere. Like you see, even they go on four wheelers, like they have cars, they are really educated and everything, but still you can see them in the traffic light. They throw garbage in the road. It doesn't matter how rich or you, how educated, people still do it. So I don't like those style. I think you need to keep everything clean around you. Like then you don't, if you can keep your place clean, then you don't really have to look for some scenic beauty outside,
Yeah.
more than the place outside your house, right?
Yeah,
Every
yeah, yeah.
place, yeah, you go outside your house, you feel the air so good, you feel the place so clean, then that's enough. You don't really have to travel so far to see such places. I really wish people don't throw garbages. At least start from there. Like India, yeah, people do that
That's a
big time.
that's a big message for you. We'll make sure we share it out there. In terms of your
Yeah.
crew, like BFAB, you've got amazing, talented dancers there.
Uh-huh.
I've been lucky to attend some
Yeah.
of the classes with some of your dancers. How did you go around like
Yeah.
starting the class, like starting the crew? How did you find like the other dancers? Did you know them already? Did you train them up? And as like a dance crew, what is like your main mission?
Yeah. So I need to start from the scratch again about BFAB. Um, it's not that I wanted to start a dance team. It was not my vision at all in the beginning. As I said, I was working in a dance company. Remember, I mentioned earlier, one of my senior introduced me to a dance teacher called Johnny Fernando. So I was in his studio, I was under him, I was learning from him. And then after a point of time, he has to leave dance. And then I was left alone. Then when he left dance, I couldn't do it because I thought I could do this. I'm going to do this for the rest of the life. But then all of a sudden I was left alone. So I had to continue dancing. So I found so many different ways which can encourage me to dance more. And then I was bankrupted. I didn't have anything, any money. I was not well versed to survive as also. Like financially, I was so weak. So I had to find jobs. So
Mm-hmm.
I tried to find a job in dance,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found a place where I can teach dance and earn as well. And then I met few people over there, and then they told me like, you know what, maybe we should form a team and compete, because they saw me dancing, they saw me choreographing, and they were like, your choreographies are so amazing. The way you choreograph is so international. I think we need to learn it and get down in competitions. I was like, really? If that's the case, then why not? Let's do it. Then I taught them. They were like, some of them are my students, and some of them are the new people that I met, and one of them is my friend. So I taught them. I made a choreography piece for a competition, which is about to happen in a week. And then I was like finding a name for my crew. I was like, how can I name the crew? Then there was exactly the same time this Step Up movie, Step Up the Streets. There is
Yeah.
a dance movie. I think it's the third part or second part. I think third part, where they mentioned every dancer in the world is a BFAB. BFAB is nothing but born from a boombox, right? So that
I
really
remember that.
motivated me. Like that really inspired me. Oh, why not BFAB? Like every dancer in the world is BFAB, then I'm BFAB. Then you are BFAB. So let's keep the name as BFAB. So I was like, born from a boombox. Yeah, BFAB is good. Okay, let's keep the name. And then just one day before the competition, some of them backed out because some of them, uh, I don't know, they didn't find a reason to stick with the team. So they wanted to form their own crew. I was like, you should have done that little earlier, like because it's too late. We have competition in 2 days. And they were like, no, we have a problem at home. We need to quit and everything. I was like, okay, no problem. So let's drop it. And then I was left with 4 people with me. There were 5 of us. And then one of them told like, why not? We still get down and compete. I was like, there was just 2 days. Like it was a long choreography that we made. And how can we switch the positions in 2 days? And he was like, no, we can do it. I think you can do it. Let's go. Try it. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, you can do it. And then I was like, okay, let's try it. And then we switched the positions in one day, and we had one day for the practice, and then we practiced it, and then we went down for the competition, and we were like, the judges were blown. Like, where are you guys from? They were like, where are you guys from? I was like, we're from Chennai. Chennai. We have never seen you in Chennai. And then I told them like the judges was like, yeah, we just formed as a crew. You guys have a long way to go. You are so futuristic. I think you guys should continue dancing. I was like,
Nice.
really? Because I never had a vision. I never had a thought that this is going to come out that good, right? Because some of them backed out in last 2 days, and I didn't even know that I'm going to go pull it off. But then one of them in the team, out of those 4 people, he encouraged to do it, and then we did it. And then people were like, there is a new fish in the town. It's called BFAB. So I don't know who they are, but then they're so good. People started talking about us. And then we started getting down in more competitions, more and more competitions. And then we were recognized in the city. And people started talking about us. And after a point of time, even this team, we didn't had a good, like, we were so young. And then we didn't know how to uh, like manage and stuff because we never had a crew, we never had an experience. So there were like differences between us, and there was this unfortunate moment we had to split up, right? So everything, the team was dissolved, and I was the only one left with BFAB, and everybody else left, and they started finding their own journey. And I was like, maybe the team doesn't work for us. And then I was practicing on my own, just myself. Every day I go to a public park nearby, and then I practice. And then I found a crew in the city. It's called Snitchers. And then some of them from that crew came to me, and then we were about to make a dance video, my choreography. And then we made it, but then unfortunately, it was a disaster. We couldn't complete the video. But then all those guys said, you know what, Anna, I think we wanted to be a part of your team. And I was like, I don't have a team anymore. And they were like, no, I think you can still form it. We wanted to be with you. So can you choreograph us? I was like,
Nice.
why not? Because, from the beginning, it just happened to me. I didn't go for it. It came to me. And then they joined me, and then I formed again. And then I taught them from the scratch. And then we get down in the competition. And then we kept auditions. More people came in. And every year we kept auditions. And then we filtered people, and we trained them for 3 months, 4 months. And then we gave them some time to merge with us. So if they feel really good about it, they stick. And if they're not really good, if they don't have a good feeling, then they'll leave. We give them a time of 3 months to 4 months. And now we have 30 people in the crew, around 30 people in the crew. And out of 30 people, and we have around 12 to 13 people who are full timers. Like we are doing this for life, like dance for life. So some of them you already know. So some of them have been teaching with me for a quite long time, and few fresh faces that I've introduced recently, and they are pretty good as well. They're doing great. Everybody has their own unique talent, and they have their own unique way. So I appreciate those things. So you see, yeah, that's how the crew formed, and that's the history of the crew, and we are here today. And you also asked about the vision of the team. The vision of the team is to support each other and grow, nothing else. Even though you see this as a crew, you can also see the individuals in the crew. There is a difference. You see the entire crew
Yeah.
and nobody else except the leader. But then with us, it's totally opposite. You see the whole crew, and also you can be able to spot every single individual in the crew, right?
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's our vision. So we stay together and we inspire each other, we help each other and grow. That's our vision.
Nice. And do you feel like as a team, do you guys talk about this often? Do you talk about like where each one of you want to be? Do you guys share like your own purpose, your own vision? And is that how you kind of stay dedicated with each other? Or is it more you just naturally came together and it just works? If that makes sense.
Yeah. So initially, when we train, we all train in the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
with the same thing. Like whenever I wanted to share something with them, and then I learn it first. I try it first. If it works for me, then I give it to them, and then if it works for them, they continue from there. And if it doesn't work, they leave it. And then there is nothing like we force anything on anybody. We have 5 different ways or 6 different ways, 10 different ways. Like there are different paths that we can proceed, right? But before we proceed to all these 10 paths, we all need to start from the same point of place. So that same point, we all train and then we inspire each other. Whatever we know, we share within each other. And then we find our own paths and then we lay it and then we help each other. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'll support you to go through that way. I'll support you to go through that way. So we inspire and we help each other. I mean, I mean, I'm like a elder figure to all of them because all of them are young. Some of them are school going kids and
Yeah.
some of them are college going kids and some of them just passed out, so I'm like a very elderly figure to them. So like I always show them the way. You know what, this way will help you. I mean, I think this will work for you, but I won't force them. I'll tell them to try for some time, they will try, and if it works for them, then continue. And if it doesn't work, I'll also help them to find a different way. And if they find some other different paths by themselves, then they'll tell me like, what do you think? I was like, yeah, if that's what works for you, then go, because that's going to help you. So there is a complete independence and I mean freedom to every single person of them.
That's beautiful. It's like almost like a family. You look out for each other.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
And in terms of, you mentioned like you're like the elderly figure for these people, for the youngsters. What kind of training
Mm-hmm.
do you do at the moment? Like you've had years of dance, and you know the older you get, you're
Mm-hmm.
more likely you're going to get weaker and more just tired if you don't look after your body. What kind of training do you do for your body
Yeah.
apart from dance? Do you do anything else?
Yeah. We do the strengthening. We do the workouts.
Mm-hmm.
We do it big time, more than just dancing, because I believe, I mean, I realized it lately after I found some injuries in the body.
Yeah.
Then I was like, understood the importance of it. Like, I need to do the workouts and strengthening, because the way I dance right now, I cannot do the same thing after 5 years or after 10 years. I,
Mm.
I, I realized it later. I mean, lately. So I do it myself. And then I also tell my boys to do it. And then sometimes they feel like doing it and sometimes they don't do it. And then I also, every time they fail to do it, I let them know, you know what, right now you feel good about it, but at my age you will feel every bad thing happening to your body. So you need
Mm.
to, you should not go to that place. Like, before you reach that phase, you need to be aware.
Mm.
So try and do the workouts and strengthening. So they do it, especially the competing team.
Yeah.
So it's a must thing. It's 200% must. Like, without workouts,
Mm-hmm.
without the strengthening, you can't dance.
Mm.
Like, we train for straight 12 hours, 13 hours,
Wow.
16 hours
Yeah.
sometimes, right? So during competition times, so we train so hard. I mean, we give so much for just strengthening alone, just strengthening. So we do all sorts of workouts. Yeah, so that's how it goes. So injuries comes and goes, but then I think it's very good to have the strengthening and workouts early in your career, so that you avoid injuries later. Because the more you age, the more slower the injury is gonna get solved. Like it's not the same. The way I felt the injuries when I was 20 and the way I feel the injuries right now is way opposite. It was
100%.
so quick. It healed so quick when I was 20, but now it takes so much time.
Mm.
So I try to avoid injuries. Yeah. So
That's
it's good to have the workouts.
that's a very important message. It's the idea, if you want to be dancing forever, you got to start working on these aspects because it's
Mm,
part of your body. You have to look after your body,
perfect.
especially when you're dancing because you rely on your body so much.
Yes. Good food. Good food.
Yeah, good food as well.
Avoid
Nutrition is
soda.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. Avoid soda.
Avoid the fizzy drinks.
I took that
um,
resolution. I took that resolution in the beginning of this year. No
yeah,
soda and no junk foods and 50 push-ups every alternative days.
nice.
So after a point of time, because of this lockdown,
Yeah.
so I had to eat some of the junk foods because there was no other option. So, but the no soda thing, it's been there since the
Nice.
beginning of this year.
That's good.
And the 50 push-ups also didn't help me because I felt ill sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't do it every alternative day. So I quit it as well. But then every time I get an opportunity, I do other workouts, not just push-ups, but I do other workouts. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, at least you've stuck to the 9 months. No fizzy drinks, no soda. That's
Yes.
good. So I guess in terms of content, what do you have any new content coming? How has lockdown inspired your content? Have you felt more motivated, or have you felt like taking a step back? But actually, that's allowed you to feel more, get more inspiration. What's
Yes.
next?
Up. I mean, before lockdown, I never in this online training and stuff, meeting people online because I never know that. I never tried it. I was ignorant about it. I was like, I always told myself, like, you know what? It's always live gives you more. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The live experience and the online experience cannot be the same. But I always felt being online won't help you anyways. But then, fortunately or unfortunately, we are put up in a situation. This is like a new era. Welcome to new era. Like you can't go out. You need to stay home. But then you can still be connected online. And then now I realize in the lockdown when I announced my 4-day workshop online, I never knew that I'm gonna go get that much response across the world. Like there were like hundred people, more than 100 people registered for the class. I was like, like like you name it, I can say yes because there are so many countries, and it was so easy. Like I'm staying home and I'm meeting people from there at the same time, live, right? And then there were like few difficulties in the audio and video stuff, but then the learning and the experience, you know it, right? So I had a good time. Then I realized, like, I was like, how did I miss it all these times? Maybe this is meant to happen. Like this lockdown is meant to happen. Like I learned to survive no matter what happens. You need to survive. You can't quit, right? So I learned to survive. And then I also was that those 4 classes inspired me to teach more. And I announced the 16 classes thing, 8 weekend, 16 classes thing. Hello, yeah, you're there, right? So the 16 classes thing, and then I
I'm
went
here.
for all my old choreographies. I brought it up, and then people were so interested, and they get part. They took part, and then every single class motivated and inspired me. I think just because I did too much for 2 months, I had a feeling that okay, maybe give it some time, no more. It's just that I give it a pause for teaching, but not for the training. You know it, right? So after the classes, I went back to training more. I trained my crew. I
Nice.
practiced with them, and then I took some rest. I give some rest for my mental things. So now I found so many new things that I can share with. So as you said, now I have a much bigger plan. It's called Excel. So I'm going to go, maybe tonight, I'm going to go release the poster or motion poster about it. It's called Camp Excel. It's going to be online worldwide. So in BFAB, there are so many people teaching, but we never taught together at the same time. So it's going to be something so good about it. Like, so I'm going to go have like 11 to 12 teachers within my crew, and we're going to be one big thing, and we're going to go run for the like 2 complete days. We're going to teach online, right?
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
It's also because we wanted to save our studio from this COVID situation. It's so difficult for all the studio owners to keep it in hand because uh, not many people come to the studio for the classes. So I think this online camp might help us to an extent where we can have the studio for more months before the situation gets good. So in a way that it's going to help that as well, and also the boys to go through this, survive through this COVID situation, because even financially they are getting hurt slowly because everybody losing their jobs, right? But then we're not going to quit. We're going to go learn how to survive. So this is one of them. So the Camp Excel, I also started organizing classes for the outside faculties as well in United Gurus. So it's going good. It's going good. Not like how it was used to be, but then we need to accept that's what
Yeah.
it is. And I can build from zero again. I know I can do it.
Nice. I like that. It's
Yeah.
yeah, tough time for everyone. I think some
Yeah.
people are more unfortunate, but it's about adapting. Being what you
Yes.
can
Yes.
is what you have, and I think everyone is definitely going online. You're connecting to so many people. I attended the workshop, and it was amazing 4 days. I learned a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to this. The Movement Excel,
Camp Excel. Yeah.
Camp
Yeah.
Excel. Yeah. um, what's we're gonna wrap up. But like before we do, what's kind of an advice you'd give to dancers out there? What would be your, if you could have three key information, what would it be if you want to give a dancer?
I always say this: do not get comfortable, because that's where you stop growing. If you want to grow and whatever you do, it can be dance, it can be any art, it can be anything. Even if you're a office goer, like you are so passionate about working in an office or being an entrepreneur. I mean, don't get comfortable. Always push your boundaries. Always try and learn new things. Keep it challenging for you. Like, mm, you should do things which will make you feel like nothing. Like, it
Yeah.
should teach you. It should teach you that you're nothing. So that's when you realize, oh, there is so much to grow. There is so much to learn.
Yeah.
So always put yourself in that particular situation. That will help you forever. And
Put your ego
be a
aside.
good person. Yeah, be a good person. Be a good human who tries to help the next person, or at least don't hurt the next person. You know,
Mm.
even that helps, because that's gonna bring more good vibes to you. What goes around comes back around, right? So you
Mm.
do whatever you do, that's gonna be the same to you. It will come back to you. So
Yeah.
be a good person, do good things. It will come back to you as a good things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? So I know you're on Instagram, you're on
Hmm.
YouTube. Do you have a
Hmm.
website, or
Yep.
how can people contact you?
Oh yeah. So I forgot to say this. So we are launching an app for our company. There is a app that you can download from Play Store, UG, United Grooves app, where you can buy classes online and studio classes. So it's going to be more easier for you to access the classes. So there'll be so many classes which is scheduled, and yeah, you can find us on Instagram on the page BFAB Dance Crew. You can find all the dancers, all my crew members, and you can find me as well. You can find me on my personal Instagram account and YouTube. And I live in Chennai. So if you really need those live classes, personal classes, private sessions, whatever it is, we can do it online, or we can do it in personal also. So United Guru School of Dance on Instagram. You can get all the details. Yes. We also have opened opportunities for the dancers. I mean, especially dancers. Dancers going to teach dancers, not just dance, but also about how to do web hosting, web designing, and because we have people who in the crew, they are a working member. So they do
Nice.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? They do it privately also. So they can teach web designing and all those stuff if you really wanted to do that. And Ram, the one I mentioned you about, Ramakrishnan, the one who introduced me to the
Yeah.
dancing thing. So he's the one. His name is Babullah. He lives in Ireland. So he moved to Ireland now. So he's the one who's initiating those things, the web designing and stuff. So or how can you sell yourself in social medias and all those stuff, like social marketing and all those stuff that we're going to teach you if you really wanted to learn all those things, because it's not just dance that which is going to take you to the top. It's also about how you sell yourself in a social network, like social marketing is so important. And then
100%.
you should also know how to edit your videos. You should also know how to edit your posters and how to do web designing, how to create website for yourself, because the website we created for ourselves, it's us who did it. The app, it's us who did it. We didn't go for the outside people, right? So what if you can do it as well? As a dancer, you can do it by yourself. So it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of time as well, a lot of stress as well. So we do all those things because this lockdown, as I said, this lockdown has opened so many ways for us to teach, to learn, and to earn. So I think it's a good thing happened, because it's opening a new portal for us, right? So I believe the same thing will happen to everyone as well. So find ways. It's easy. Come on, we can do it. Don't quit. We can do it. We all can do it.
Don't quit,
Yeah.
adapt, keep going.
Yeah, adapt. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, nice. Any last words before we say goodbye?
Love is the key.
That was the key. Nice.
That was the key. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
joining us today. I hope everyone who's watching has learned something new, and we will catch you soon. So make sure you look out for the next podcast, and make sure you go check out Ravi, his new app, and his new Camp XL movement online class.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jagannath, for hosting this. And I'm so glad to be a part of it, because after a long time, this was planned way back, but then somehow we managed to do it now. I'm so glad about it. And thank you so much for doing this.
No
and
worries,
I'll
bro.
meet you again.
Thank you.